Alright, welcome back. Oh, I finally got in today. I haven't really had time to look at an awful lot of stuff. Um, I know there's tons of people doing, hour-long video, well over hour-long videos, and I just haven't got time to sit and watch all that. So my point is that I'm just apologising right now if I happen to repeat something that somebody else has already done. I probably will, but anyway. Well, I probably won't with this connection with Madonna, but I probably will with how I'm getting to this connection with Madonna. Okay, Madonna Holiday and how this ties into just some little connections here with this and this Donald Trump assassination attempt thing. Okay, so where I want to start with is I want to start by going to the actual guy that is supposedly the shooter. Okay, let me see. Where is he? He's in here somewhere. Anyway, we'll find him. Where is he? I thought I actually had him. Here it is. Thomas Matthew Crooks. As soon as I heard this, as soon as the kids, because I was talking to the kids and I said, well, who did it? And they said, oh, some guy called Crooks. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is sounding good already. Um, and then I said, well, what was his first name? And my daughter was like, I think it was Thomas. And I'm like, oh, we've got the twinism in here already. But when I heard that she was telling me it was Thomas Crooks, I'm like, well, that sounds an awful lot like. This only really makes sense to an English person. It sounds a lot like Thomas Cook. And if you are not English, then I don't know how far Thomas Cook goes in terms of its business, but in England, what Thomas Cook is it's a travel agency. Okay, it's a travel agent, and so what they do is they, you go book a holiday with them. So I'm already getting this connection to Madonna with holiday, right? That's just the first one, right? Now, while we're on the subject though of Thomas Cook, let's go now and, well, actually, we could have a look at this guy's birthday before we get off of him, because this September 20th birthday here is super duper interesting. If you've been following my channel, you will know that recently I've been looking at these palindromic numbers to do with Madonna and Billy Idol. Okay, and so we've got, like, the first one I looked at was a 24,042 day number jump from Madonna's birthday to a certain point, which was 612. And then I looked at a Billy Idol one, which was 25,052 day number jump from his birthday, which happened to come out 20 days later than Madonna's at the 2nd of July. Well, nothing really transpired with those dates, and I was looking at the mid date there, which was 6/22 as well. Nothing really transpired with those dates, but to cut a long story short, I then went and looked at some more, the same numbers basically, but just with a 1 in the middle. So instead of 24,042, I was looking at 24,142, and the same with Billy Idol, 25,152. Okay, and what was interesting about those two dates is this date here, the 20th of September, was the end date for that jump with Madonna. And Billy Idol's happened to be on the 10th of October, 10/10. And the midpoint between those two dates is the 30th of September, the birthday of the Hoover Dam. So this is pretty interesting with this dude being born on the 20th of September. Okay, so we've already got the Madonna holiday connection, kind of. It's fairly rough. It's fairly slim. But now I've got a little bit more connection with Madonna. Okay, now, all right, let's go on to the next thing. Right, so just bear that in mind, and then we'll move on to Thomas Cook, the actual Thomas Cook now, because I'm still not done with this. So if we go to Thomas Cook, which I'm sure somebody has already thought of this. This can't be new now. Somebody has got to have made this connection already, because it's just so obvious. But anyway, Thomas Cook. Okay, so this is travel agency, right? He is born the 22nd of November, 1808. JFK's, the 22nd of November is JFK's assassination. So already we have this connection with the assassination attempt, and then JFK tying back into this now with Thomas Cook. But it gets better than this, because look when this dude dies, the 18th of July. The day that I am being focused on here now, not really focused on. I mean, I've been talking about it for quite some time, but there's just a ton of 187 stuff right now. The connections are mental. I think it's a pretty good connection, to be quite honest. So we've got that. We've got the JFK assassination tying in, and also 187. I still am not quite sure what I'm still thinking, what could happen on the 18th. And there's a lot of possibilities, let's put it that way. But it's all revolving around, the presidency, Billy Idol, Madonna, and the Hoover Dam. So, Anyway, I'm not done, right, with the holiday connection, right? So, the song, again, I just point this out as well, which is, let me just show you the picture here, right? Because I just thought this was kind of interesting that we have, not every picture of Madonna, not every album cover do we have a sort of side shot of the face with a prominent earring. But it is actually, if you look at her stuff, there are several pictures of her with the, the one-sided ear with the earring. I don't know what that earring is, but if I could find a really good version of that, in the blurred version, you could almost say that looks like the end of a bullet there, the end of a shell. I don't know. Anyway, it kind of does look like a round, doesn't it? I don't know. Maybe kind of looks like a round with a I don't know, some kind of a cross at the bottom of it, and a huge hook or something. But it's weird the way it goes up. I don't know what to say. Normally, if you can see the end of my cursor, normally an earring is pierced into this little spot here. This looks like it kind of is right up on the ear. Anyway, I just thought this was interesting that there's an ear that is prominently displayed here. Okay. And also the, I don't know, the choking symbolism here with the chain around the neck. I don't know. Anyway. Right. We've got the O as well. Kind of a very, 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 I don't want to be too reaching on this, but the target springs to mind. White with a red thing going on here. Okay. I don't know. Anyway. Right. So let's go to the actual song itself, and have a look at the numbers for it, right? Oh, hang on a minute. I'm clicking the wrong bloody thing here. Hang on. Oh, hang on a minute. You know what I've got to do? Let's go back. Hang on. Right. Length 608 on the album version. 7-inch is 410. Well, 410. We know what the 410 is, okay? But 608, we're going to look at 608 and also September 7th, so a 9/7 reference. Let's go to the actual Wikipedia on the thing and see the location, because I wanted to discuss the location as well, because it's pretty interesting as well. So let's click on this map. So the first thing to note, here's the 68, 608, 68 here with PA68. P is 16, A is 1, so we have 1, 6, 1, and then 68. So we have golden ratio phi referenced here with this road number, okay, which again is Madonna's birthday numbers, and so that's pretty interesting, and it's on Evans City Road, so Evans, so even, so this is even, again to do with balance. And then what's interesting is we've got Meridian Road here, so this is quite kind of interesting as well, because obviously meridians are a center balance point, a midpoint, and obviously to do with time as well, so that's kind of interesting. And Whitestown Road, yes, because you know the White Town is the moon. So I just thought that was interesting. I mean, I could probably, you know, we could probably talk about a lot of this stuff here. I'm not going to bother with it. We'll hang on a minute. Let's just look at the numbers on the actual town Butler, which is a close big town. And again, it's not a 178, but we got the 78, okay, and we've got the 84 to do with the eclipse, which is going to be important in just 1 second when we get onto it. So this is absolutely fairly interesting as well. Let's go back to, I forgot where it was now. Hang on a minute. Where did I have it? There it was. So that's pretty interesting, just looking at that Madonna stuff there. Go back. Let's look at the coordinates now. 40.85. So we've got the 85. It's super duper important, 85, to do with balance. You know, that is a very just a very important balance number, set of numbers. You know, there's a reason why Back to the Future is going back to 1985 all the time. Okay, 40.8. We've got the 48 of the eclipse again, and then we've got the 79797, and we got it repeated in there a few more times. Again, the release date, yeah, 7/9, the 7th of September. Okay, for holiday. Now, okay, Dan. So what? Well, let's go one step further with the holiday connection, right? Let's go to this. Now, let's look at the date. Okay, so the 13th. Let's go back now and have a look at the connection with the twin date here now for the 13th. So we're looking for 171,195, 171,195, and would you Adam and Eve it? This is the 19th of June. Juneteenth. This new bloody holiday that they just came up with, what, a year or two? Well, how many years ago now? A couple of years ago now. Pretty darn interesting that Trump's assassination, the twin date for the assassination date, is a holiday. And let's not forget that when we do our the other number that we're looking at in the dollar bill is the 4th of September. And last year, the 4th of September was also a holiday. It was Labor Day. And if we project out from Donald Trump's birthday, 30,333 days, that will take us to the 4th of September, 2028. Okay? He'll be 82 years and 82 days old on that date, I think it was. And there was some other interesting numerology there as well, with the alternate ways of looking at the date. So this is pretty yeah, I don't, maybe it wasn't actually, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, that date goes from it definitely, that number jump for Donald Trump definitely goes from the what the hell am I'm losing my train of thought here. That date goes from his birthday all the way to Labor Day, and that is actually Labor Day 2028. Okay, so the 4th of September 2028 will be Labor Day. So that is super duper interesting with the 333 numerology there. Anyway, all right, I'm going to keep on busting through this. The other thing to note, if we go back from the 18th, I want to just remind people of this every time we do a video now. As if we do the twin date for the 18th of July, so 200, 166. Just went by it. What the hell is it? Right there. 200, 166 is the 14th of June, Donald Trump's birthday. So that's pretty mental, right? And I think that concludes all the holiday stuff, right? The connections there. So I want to show you something though interesting with the 4A and the 94 and Robert De Niro, because 88 Finis Temporis re-uploaded, or actually did I think it's a fresh video. I'm not sure. I only watched about 2 minutes of it, and then I had to go out this morning, so I haven't had a chance to really sit down and watch it yet. But it starts off with the Robert De Niro. I can't remember the name of the film now, where he's playing the part of Trump. Basically, he's going to build a wall and keep the illegal immigrants out, and he gets shot. Okay, so I'm sure everybody that's watching this video knows about 88 Finis Temporis' channel, so just go over there and catch that video. But anyway, the Robert De Niro thing is super duper important, and so I want to explain what the connection with Robert De Niro, the tie-in with Madonna, and we'll just kind of go through it all, and I try to remember all the little bits and bobs that connect with it. The first thing to remember is that dinero in Spanish, spelt slightly differently, means money, okay? And obviously Donald Trump has that connection with the dollar bill with his gematria, and obviously has a tie-in with money, being a businessman. But Robert De Niro as well, tying in with the idea of money, okay? With the name, okay? And so we've got this little tie-in with the dollar bill there, okay, to start off with, because this 187 date is in the dollar bill. Just happens to also be George Washington's gematria. You know, he's a 187, okay? And so it's important to, you know that, okay, that this is where most of this stuff's coming from for me, is from the dollar bill with the 187, okay? Now, the other thing to note is that Robert De Niro is born on the 17th of August. So he's born on a 187 number. That 187 number is pretty important because Sean Penn, Madonna's first husband, is also born on that day, okay? So, and I personally have a personal reference to that day as well, okay? So there's a whole bunch of, I'm seeing a whole bunch of 187 stuff, but Robert De Niro ties into that date, Madonna ties into that date, and we're looking at, and of course this year, Donald Trump's twin date is also tying in his birthday with that date. So it's all very, very, very interesting to say the least, right? Where do I want to go with this? Robert De Niro, let's go now and think about what I want to do. Is let's start off with just the chart of, hang on a minute, I want to show you something. I actually need to show you a number jump, and I think it's right. Where's my number jump? I think it's here. Let me show you this number jump first, because this will be important here in a minute when we get to the table, to the tables, okay? Because I'll probably go to both of them. let's just look at this real quick. The 18th of July to the next date on the dollar bill, the 4th of September, is 48 days. This is eclipse symbolism, okay, with the 48, okay? So my feelings right now, my feelings right now on this whole thing is maybe something is going to kick off on the 18th. Maybe it will be the Hoover Dam, actually. And maybe we're going into 48 days of darkness, so to speak, metaphorically speaking, until a rebirth event on 9/4. Okay. Now, I don't really know, what sparks off on this date, what's going to indicate that. But it certainly would be very interesting. You can hypotheticalize. Is that even a word? I don't know. I just made that up. Anyway, you can have ideas about I've got several ideas now about what's possible. But like I said before, something to do with the Hoover Dam, something to do with Madonna or Billy Idol. And when I'm saying those two, the obvious thing is, somebody's gonna croak, and the obvious thing with the Hoover Dam is the thing's gonna fall down. Okay, so I wanted that to be noted with this reference back to the 4/8, because 4/8 is super duper important, and that tie-in is just crazy, really. Let me show you something else now. Let's go to the charts and we'll go through these different, numbers, I suppose. What do I want to do? This. Okay, well, actually, what I want to do is I want to start on, what do I want to do? I want to show you some. Let's start on this. Okay. Okay, this is the Queen's Cross chart, what I called the Queen's Cross chart anyway. And again, this is just built up of Fibonacci type numbers, okay, and actually I've got them, as you can see right here, they are listed what the cycle is. There's only 3 cycles, okay? There's only 3 cycles, right? When you reduce down, if you take any 2 numbers and start a cycle with it, so you take 2 numbers, add them together, that produces a number, and then you add the previous number, right? And then add those 2 together, it makes another number, then you add the previous number, so forth and so on. If you do that, and then reduce each number in that cycle down to its root, okay, you will end up with one of 3 cycles, okay? I guess you could argue that it's a trinity. There's 3 different cycles. There's Fibonacci numbers, there's Lucas numbers, and then I'm sure there's probably a proper mathematical name for the cycle that starts on 3. I called it pi because it starts 314, okay? But this is just like a Fibonacci type sequence. It's a self-generating sequence that takes from the past and generates the future, okay? So it's almost like a little timeline. And of course, 24 digits make up that cycle, and then it repeats and it repeats, okay? This is what's important. This is what's important about 9/11, it's a beginning and end on the cycle, yeah, for Fibonacci. It's so important. And the midpoint, the opposite side of that cycle, the thing that balances 9/11, it's actually balancing the number 11, is 88. That's why 88 is everywhere with 9/11, because they're like bloody twins, okay? They're twin numbers, basically, 88 and 11. So they go together, right? And again, we're going to see this. I want to go through. So what I want to do is I want to show you where Trump and Robert De Niro show up in these numbers, okay? And all I've got here is I've just got all I've done is just laid those cycles out. I don't know what the easiest way to explain this, but I've just done a table basically where I have basically the start. Every cycle starts, like this, yeah. 213, 314, 415, and I've just gone up in order. And what happens is, this pi line here is the same as this one, except it just starts in a different spot, but they all align with an actual starting point. This is too difficult to really explain quickly. You'll see this is actually the starting point for pi here, okay, and here it is over here as well, okay. So these are just the same cycles starting in a different place, but they're ordered, okay. So what we can do when they're ordered, we can kind of look what matches, what numbers sort of sit together. And that's kind of what I do in the other chart as well, the chart of Lorraine, which we'll get onto, maybe we'll get onto in a minute. Anyway, that was too much whiffly waffle. But what I want you to know about this chart, what's important, is this bloody number right in the middle here, okay. So this is super duper important. In fact, let's do it better than that so it doesn't look a mess. Okay, this is the center of this whole table. Okay, 9448. Okay, and so 48 days from 187 is 94, which is absolutely bloody mental, because we're going to go on to the Robert De Niro numbers and Donald Trump's numbers now. So the first thing you can do is we can actually, here's the first one we can see. There's some Donald Trump numerology there. It's not quite in the right order, but those are the numbers of his birthday for the 14th of June, right? Here's Robert De Niro's stuff right here. Wish I could start that over a bit more, so we're not going through the number. Okay, there's Robert De Niro's stuff there. Okay, again, it's not in the right order, if you know what I mean. We got this. We could do with the 7 on the end somewhere, and we could have done with Donald Trump's 6 on the end somewhere. But that numerology is all tying together. Okay, and again, if you look down, the center of the table now. If we look to the center, in fact, we can come over that 4 there as well, and we're just getting 49448. We're getting a repeat there of 49 and 48. Okay, and obviously 44 in the middle there as well. But you can see those numbers tie in with that. Now, that's in Lucas numbers, okay, which is really important to do with. There's a really important. It's back. I did it at Christmas time. You'd have to look it up. It's something I named it something to do with Pluto. I can't remember now, but in Lucas numbers, there's some really nice connections to Pluto. Let's just leave it like that, okay. There's some really nice number jumps in Lucas numbers, the full numbers that tie to Pluto, okay. And that's important with the number 48, okay, because the whole eclipse thing on 48 ties in with Pluto, which is numbers to do with 48. A lot of numbers to do with 48, okay. Let's see. Here is Robert De Niro's. We're up on Fibonacci now. Here is Robert De Niro's birthday, reading backwards, and here is Donald Trump's birthday, the 14th of June and the 17th, the 18th. No, that's right, the 17th of August. Okay. So, what is at the center of those two numbers? Here, the 88 is at the center of those two numbers. Okay, so we know those two individuals are going to be extremely connected to anything to do with the number 88, but also to do with the idea of 9/11. Okay, because, you know, the number that balances with that 88 is actually this 11 here, yeah? And so either side of that 11, we've got 911 one way, and then we've got 211 the other way, you know? Just so happens that Biden's birthday is the 20th of November, you know? Hello, you know, we've got him tying into this here as well. So I wanted to show why those two connected, you know, why they're so connected, because they connect in these numbers here, okay? They also connect with the idea of the dollar bill, with De Niro and with Donald Trump's, well, Donald Trump obviously, the song Money, 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 and what the hell's, and his gematria ties into $1 bill, okay? So, I mean, it's, you know, I don't know what else to say other than, you know, there's a reason why Robert De Niro has been picked for that job, okay? They probably went to acting school together. I don't know. What else do I want to say? Oh, I happen to have down here as well. Again, just a quick reminder with the connection back with Madonna. I happen to have some number lines here at the bottom that are what do I want to say? They are, I've got regular pi down here, the first 24 digits of regular pi. I've got Fibonacci numbers synchronized with golden ratio numbers phi down the bottom of here, the first 24 digits of phi, and then right at the very bottom I've got them rearranged again so that we have certain numbers aligning. Okay, so what you'll see is I've got Fibonacci here with 88, I've got the golden ratio with 88 synchronizing there, so these two are synchronized, and then we've got 911 here, and that synchronizes with all this shite down here. But the reason why I've got Fibonacci synchronizing at this point with pi is because we have another set of numbers in here that matches up as well. 358 Christmas Eve. So, you know, numbers here tie, you know, we can tie stuff together basically, is what I'm trying to say. And so what you'll notice is that with, well, with all, you know, when we've got, okay, so when we've got, like, Donald Trump was big with this, Robert De Niro's big with this, we know that, right? So this 88 now is synchronizing here with this 88. So now we can look up and see, you know, well, what matches up with certain numbers up here from Madonna's line, because Madonna, these two bottom lines, which are phi, have Madonna's birthday in it, right? And so now we can just sort of match up stuff backwards and forwards. So, you know, what we can see here is that 033 matches up, so that's the number for Christ's death and resurrection, happens to match up with 718 up here, yeah? So, you know, does that tie Madonna in? And Madonna, look at Madonna's numbers here herself, they're tying in with the 4849 stuff here as well. That's also at the center of the table here. Okay, this line down here is a completely different number line. You know, this is phi down here, and this is a Fibonacci type pi sequence here. You know, it just starts with the numbers of pi, so I called it pi. So these are two different sequences, yet we've got Madonna, you know, here synchronizing with 9448, you know, and just so happens, you know, everything's matching up. Don't know what else to say, you know. And again, this Christmas Eve date is also matching up with Madonna's birthday here. You know, so you start thinking to yourself, oh, are we going to see? There's lots of different things you can think, but are we going to see her croak on the eve of 718, 717? I don't know, or will she? I just don't know. But I'm pretty confident that it's definitely something's got to happen. I'm sure of it. But then again, how many times have I been wrong in the past? Quite a lot of times. So probably about time to give up on all this stuff. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there because it's just really random waffle now. It's just random waffle. So anyway, 33, 718. You can have a look, see down here. Here's Trump here. Now we can see over here, what's he aligning with in that same numbers set. 4, 9, 8. There's a whole bunch of that stuff. In fact, I feel like that's wrong actually. No, that's 9, 8 there. Yeah, because it's right here as well. That 4, 9, 4, 9, 8 there. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. So you see, it's the resurrection of Trump here on 4, 9. So I don't know. And that is when Washington pops up out of the dam in that fold. So I don't know. Maybe we're going to see. I don't know what we're going to see. Maybe we're going to see something bad happen here on 7/18 to do with the Hoover Dam, and then we're going to have 48 days of crap, and something big's going to change. That's going to sort of put Trump back in charge somehow early or something. I did hear something about early voting, so that would kind of be interesting, wouldn't it? If they kind of already had won before even the election, before they even had the physical vote type thing. We have to go down to the polling station. I don't know. Anyway, I'm leaving it there. It's just random waffle. Thanks for watching, and if I probably missed some stuff out of there, but you get the idea. You can see the connections with Donald Trump, Madonna, and Robert De Niro. Okay. Thanks for watching. All right, cheers. Bye.